This is the Stressed But Well Dressed podcast, where we discuss the link between clothes, confidence, and what it means to be well dressed. And I'm your host, Dahlia Stroud. And today, I'm joined by Louise Slightholme, who manages Lou's corporate life and a life in finance. Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well,
I'm very excited.
I have been looking forward to this. We are live on air together.
I know.
And I'm going to ask you what your most memorable fashion moment is.
I knew you were going to ask for this. So, do you know, did you watch all the Met Gala looks recently?
Yes.
I think the theme was tailored for you. And I was just obsessed, Zendaya, Rihanna, just in their suits and their ties. Obviously I love a suit. And yeah, I just thought it was so cool.
It just stood out for you.
Yeah, so that's definitely my favourite, for sure.
And we know that you love a suit because you are a corporate girly.
I am.
So talk to me about Lou's corporate life.
Yeah, so I create workwear clothing content across Instagram and TikTok. I have an audience of around just over 300,000 now, which is crazy. I create kind of workwear styling inspiration. I talk through capsule workwear wardrobes. Every Sunday I do a weekly workwear planner. So if you can't be bothered deciding what to wear to work that week, you can literally just follow my guide and it tells you Monday you're going to wear black trousers, a white top and a yellow jacket or whatever. That's basically kind of what I do on Lou's Corp. And then I guess I also talk about working a corporate job and behind the scenes of my life as well.
And you do also work in a corporate job?
Yes, I do. So I guess my Monday to Thursday, I work at the Big Four in transaction services, which is basically financial due diligence on acquisitions. And yeah, it's great. I really like it. I do really enjoy it. But the exciting bit is definitely Lou's corporate life, and that's my passion project. I just love it.
So I have been told that these kind of stories always start with a problem or an opportunity. So was there an opportunity for you in terms of workwear? Did you not know what to wear?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think, but when I started my first job at BDO in audit, and I just remember just having no clue what to wear, and I remember I would go into work, I'd just buy random clothes from Next because that was the only place that I really knew did workwear. So kind of buy a suit here and there, buy things that I thought looked good. And then I would go into the office. Well, one, it would take me forever to get ready because I'd just be like, oh no, this doesn't go, it doesn't look right. And then I'd go into work and I just remember I'd sit there and be like, I just don't feel like I look nice. And I'd see other people wearing certain outfits and I'd think, oh, you look really nice. And then I'd just feel even worse. And then so I would say the first couple of years, I just had no clue what to wear. And then I guess as my career went on, I kind of understood and had the confidence to wear what I wanted to. I did a bit of research. And then I guess you do find your personal workwear style. So once I found that, that was when I was at KPMG. I remember a few of my friends would always ask me and my colleagues, where did you get your blazer from, where your trousers from, etc. And then I was like, why don't I just create an Instagram account? So I did, yeah. And I just felt so cringe doing it because we were talking about this before, but I felt so cringe doing it. But yeah, I also loved it, so that outweighed.
I think, and we can talk about this, there is a huge amount of cringe that you need to kind of push through when you do something new. But that bit around at the beginning, not knowing what to wear and not feeling confident in what you're wearing once you got to work, I think will resonate with so many people. You obviously, you were on a training program, I imagine.
Yes.
You were fresh out of uni.
Yep.
And then suddenly you're in a very corporate environment. And you want to kind of build now we call it a personal brand, but I actually did a graduate scheme in a corporate environment too, and it's just your reputation, isn't it? You want to build kind of how people think about you and your credibility, and you want to fit in, but you also want to make your mark, and you haven't built up that equity in the organisation yet in terms of who you are. So all of those things are going on and you're trying to learn, and then finding your style and your identity in that is really tough.
Yeah, that's so true you say that, because I always wanted to, when I was at BDO, the first place I worked on my training graduate scheme, and I would always want to wear heels, but I was just too scared because I was a trainee and I thought people would judge me and be like, why is she wearing heels? Who does she think she is? And then, so it wasn't until I got to my next couple of jobs that I started wearing them, because like you say, you build, you know, you're good at your job and you're a bit older, so you kind of don't really care what people think as much. But yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? And I think obviously the workwear landscape has changed so much.
Yeah.
You know, COVID, people working from home, but I think we're seeing a real pull back to the office now. And people actually want to get dressed in a way that they weren't so bothered about a few years ago. From a corporate perspective, because it is a unique and still a kind of industry where people are dressing in suits or dressing
Yes.
very smartly every day. Do you think it's slightly different?
Yeah, I think I do actually. One question I get asked all the time is, what on earth do I wear going back to work now? Because like you say, everybody dressed really smart before COVID. COVID hit and everyone was like, yes, I can wear like jeans and a hood, not jeans, joggers and a hoodie to work all day. And then you kind of, a couple of years in, well, for some offices, like some offices aren't even going back yet, but you're like, oh, I kind of just want to get ready and look nice and utilise my work wardrobe again. And I always get asked, like, what do I wear? I've lost my style. I've just forgotten what actually looks good and that sort of stuff. And I think it's another thing I think is really hard is offices have changed. And I think we discussed this before as well. But the likes of, so I did a talk at KPMG the other week and it was to apprentices. And I said to them, what do you think you should wear for work at somewhere like KPMG? And they were like, a suit and a tie. And I'm like, it's so different now. And that just adds to the confusion because people are like, well, I'm going into the Big Four or I'm going into this like snazzy finance legal job or whatever it may be. And I want to wear smart clothes, but I've turned up and everyone's wearing jeans and trainers. And it's just, yeah, I don't know if you find the same like in your job or your office, but it's a minefield.
I think it is a minefield because where I work and what I've had for quite a few years in different roles that I've had in different organisations is a dress for your day mindset. So you choose what you want to wear based on your day. But I think that the difficulty with that is you might be meeting someone who you have polar opposite days from them apart from that. So they might be presenting to the board and their other meeting is with you.
Yeah.
And your only meeting might be with them. So you're wearing jeans and they come in the suit and that kind of immediately can throw you off a little bit. So I actually think in some ways a bit of clarity around a dress code isn't a bad thing. And you know, someone said to me, and I love this, you know, dress for your own standards, don't dress for anyone else's.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people just are tribal, want a bit of belonging and do want to feel like that they're going to fit in some way in an organisation.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's why when I create my content, it's all about just keeping it simple, keeping it plain. You don't have to spend a fortune. If you get a capsule workwear wardrobe, you can mix and match things so that people don't feel overwhelmed and don't feel like, you know, they have to go crazy when it comes to workwear.
So tell me about the content then. So you said you started creating it a couple of years ago?
Yes, so about 3 years ago.
And you've grown to 300,000 people who check in every week on what you're wearing to work and get ideas and inspiration.
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't feel real. I was like thinking on the way here in the car, I remember when I first started creating content and I followed this girl and she posted that she had 2,000 followers, that she'd just hit that milestone. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I would never get to 200,000. That's insane. So yeah, it doesn't like feel real. And to be honest, I think I love it because I've met so many people through it. And I feel like the followers that I have like a really good relationship with them in like a weird way. So I'll message them and they'll message me about things. And I like try and reply to every DM and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I absolutely love it. So yeah, 3 years ago is when I started.
And how did it feel? You said it was a bit cringe putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I remember I think I actually started in January. I posted some outfits and then I was really scared. So I took the account down. And then in the June, I was like, no, Louise, just do it. And I know, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I know there were people out there and I'd heard through friends of friends that people were like, oh, that girl from KPMG's posting content or that, and like she's got no followers, or like, oh, that's so cringy and stuff. So yeah, you have to get through that. It's tough. It's really tough.
And I think it's really brave actually to admit that you started, then you thought, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was saying that I made a video online, and it's often the people who are closest to you that you don't want to judge you, but you think they might. And my friend was watching it when I was with her, and I was like, turn that off now. And she said,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You made this. And I said, no, I can't bear anyone I know to watch it. That's unbearable. Strangers on the internet, absolutely fine, but people I know can't stand it. And I think that's true because we're so focused on the fact that people we put ourselves in a spotlight and think people judge us. And actually, I always think if we flipped that and enjoyed the spotlight, it would be a good thing.
Yeah, and what I was going to say on that actually is I found out the other day that on TikTok, your settings are automatically set to push your content to your contact list, even if you don't. Yeah, so apparently it's like going to all. So I turned it off on mine the other day, and. Yeah, because I saw it come up and I thought, oh, I'll see if it makes a difference. But it was just really funny because you think, oh my God. Because I remember when I had like 350 followers on TikTok, and my friend was like, oh yeah, I saw your day in the life that you did, or I saw your video. And I'm like, how did you see that? But yeah, sorry, what was your question? I've totally forgotten.
Do you know what? I'm just reflecting on a very funny moment where my brother-in-law and his girlfriend the other day sent me a screenshot of their TV with my face on it on YouTube.
No.
Where I was like, this is just absolutely mortifying. I guess the question was, how did you... Well, what I'm interested to know is, first of all, how did you decide to just kind of push through the cringe? And then... how do you continue to do it? Because it is relentless needing to show up every day, and you know you've created this expectation now. So how do you continue to deliver against it?
I can't really remember the whole like pushing through the cringe. I think so. My partner is a big like, don't care what people think about you. Just if you enjoy it, then do it. It's not stupid. It's not cringe if you enjoy it. So I think having him definitely helped me like keep pushing through. And obviously all my friends and family were like really supportive of it and stuff. And I almost did it as a hobby more than anything. So even though it was cringe, it wasn't like I went on there to get thousands of followers. I just did it because I quite enjoyed it. And yeah, I just like putting workwear together. And then in terms of like showing up, because I enjoy it so much, it's like my passion project. I don't find it hard, you know, being like motivated to create content. Like I love doing it. Or like posting stories and stuff. So I don't find it hard to like show up. But I would say since having my son, I find I don't have time to show up. So it's definitely got harder. And I feel as if I can't create as much content as I used to do. I used to have all weekend. I used to have my mornings, my evenings to create content, edit it, etc. Now I have a Saturday, and that Saturday is also doing the washing, cleaning the house, doing everything else that you've got to do. And I mean, I'm lucky that I even have the Saturday. You know, a lot of mums and dads don't have that time. So especially when they work a corporate job. So it's, showing up is easy for me because I love it, but finding the time at the minute is definitely a challenge. But you'll know that.
And obviously what you do is create a work planner for the week, like you said, and you try and make it as simple as possible. Yeah. So as few items as possible to maximise the outfits, but that must take some creativity. Like how do you kind of keep it fresh? Yeah,
do you know, that's a really good question, because I feel like it gets to a Sunday and I'm like, oh, if I I'm like, I struggle sometimes because I'm like, obviously I want to keep it simple for people, but then I don't want to create, you know, have the same black trousers, spiked top and a blazer every single week. But then I think I've just got to, so sometimes I kind of go a little bit off like brand and put a cool co-ord in there or whatever. But then I just have to remind myself that the whole reason that I do the planner is to keep it simple and is to base everything off the capsule wardrobe. So some weeks you're going to have to wear the same. So in week 13, you probably still wear the same outfits as you wore in week 4 or something like that. Because like you say, it is all about, with all the confusion out there with dress codes, if you build a solid capsule workwear wardrobe, you can just mix it and match it and just you can create so many outfits. It's crazy. But so yeah, that's, I guess I can keep it fresh in a way, but sometimes you do just have to wear the same thing, and that's totally normal. And you've created a very clear style, which is probably simplified to amplify, if I was going to call it anything. What did it take to get from the sitting at your desk, not sure about how you wanted to feel, to the wearing heels, to a very defined look? I don't actually know. I think over the years you figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So there's certain things that I know don't suit me, and I think sometimes I would experiment and wear things that were a little bit more kind of. I would say I dress quite, like you say, simple, things that maybe weren't as simple, and I just felt that it just didn't feel like me. So I don't know exactly what it took, but I think time and experimentation, that's probably the right answer.
And do you ever feel you kind of navigating through different parts of your life? Obviously, you've got the corporate job,
Yeah.
you've got the creator job, you're a mum as well.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel when they overlap? Mainly I guess the corporate and the creator. Like, do you talk about it, or
Yeah.
do you keep them separate?
I tend to keep them separate. Like sometimes, I was saying this earlier, but sometimes I'll go in early to work and I'll like film the outfit that I'm wearing that day. But I'm very strict with like when I am at work, I'm at work. My phone's away. I don't respond to DMs. I'll post a story, but that takes about 2 minutes. And, you know, when I'm at work, and that is what it is. And I think we've had this conversation before where you have to do that, because at the end of the day, that is your day job. And then as soon as it gets to when I've logged off, I've finished my jobs for the day, that's when I'll get the phone back out and do the content stuff. But you have to be really, I guess my job's really busy, so it's not like I even have to be that strict with myself, to be fair, because you don't really have time, do you, in the day? So, yeah.
Have you learned anything from being a creator that you kind of pull back into your day job?
I don't know. Maybe I would say it's given me a lot more confidence, for sure. And that will have, therefore, made me more confident in the workplace, I would say. Especially when it comes to outfits as well, because you can wear anything to work, but then if you put an outfit online and people want links to it, you're like, oh, this must be a good outfit then.
A bit of validation.
Yeah.
Never a bad thing, never a bad thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a documentary for people who have full-time jobs, The Secret Lives of Creators, of
Yeah.
what they do and like after work as well, in terms of all the people navigating so many different things
Yeah.
from a portfolio career perspective.
Yeah.
I think I'd be quite interested on that.
It's so funny the other day. So it took me 2.5 hours to get back from Manchester, and I was just sat in standstill traffic. So I just thought, I'm just going to edit an Instagram video, which obviously you shouldn't be doing when you're in the car, but I was like not moving at all. So it's like you have to just fit it in those sort of like, in those moments, but this is what it is.
Yeah, definitely early mornings and late nights.
Yeah.
I absolutely resonate with that. And obviously you know, there's so much talk about fashion and consumption, sustainable fashion. And I know, you know, we've said you're keen on outfit repetition, but I know you're also really keen on creating sustainable fashion choices as well. So talk to me about what that means for you.
Yeah, so I found that, like you say, I am a big advocate of not just following trends. Yeah, if you see a blazer in a particular colour that looks nice and you can mix and match it with various other outfits, then by all means buy it. And I am definitely kind of partial to a suit here and there if it's for a special event or a wedding or something.
Is there a brand that you want to shout out for suits that you love?
Oh yeah, of course, my own brand. But then, so I guess I found that it was really, I found it's really hard to find workwear. So unless like you follow somebody and you get their links and you follow plans and that sort of thing, if you Google like workwear, you will probably come across a mini skirt or a crop top or something that's like wildly inappropriate. So I remember just thinking like, and also if you don't have that capsule wardrobe, you end up just buying things here and there like I did when I was at BDO. You don't know how things don't go together, and then you don't wear it anymore. So it's just an absolute waste. So I guess those things combined. And I just remember thinking like, surely there's a better way of doing this. So that led me to launch Mode, which is my sustainable clothing brand. So, I mean, it's very much in its infancy, but the idea behind it is being a one-stop shop for all things workwear, so that eventually, my aim is for it to be the place that you would go on to if you want to invest in a capsule wardrobe, if you want to invest in a good suit that you can wear time and time again, you can go to Mode, buy it and you know it will last you a long time, etc. And we were talking about this before as well, but the thing I remember as well thinking, oh, I don't want to be just another creator that just launches a clothing brand. And, you know, because I do feel like the market is, there's so many brands out there. It's like, it's crazy. So I just thought, and like morally as well, I just didn't feel, I had the idea and I really wanted to do it, but I just felt like I don't want to just be pushing more clothes out there. I just think I don't know, it just didn't like sit right with me. So I just thought, well, is there a way that I can make it sustainable, or, you know, make it at least, you know, not as bad as the other brands. So I remember one of my friends had launched a gym brand, and they were launching clothes that were like made of recycled materials. And I thought, that's cool. I wonder if I could do that. So yeah, I kind of set about, had it clear in my head that if I was launching this workwear brand, everything was going to be made from recycled materials, because that's just what sits right with me. And yeah, here we are. So we have the suits on now. Well, we have the blazers on. These are the trousers. So this was actually part of the first collection, which I launched in February. So it's all made from recycled plastic bottles and recycled other kind of miscellaneous recycled plastic, which is really cool. And then there are further collections to come, but yeah, it's exciting.
So you've got a corporate job, you create content pretty much full time as well, and you have then created a clothing brand too. This is whilst having a toddler, a little baby.
Oh my God, I don't even know.
This is very impressive. This is very impressive. Like, how does it feel to be wearing the suit that you have created, designed?
I mean, it feels really cool, especially, I mean, obviously when I wear it, I love it because it fits really well and stuff. But when I see like you wearing it and I see other people wearing it, that's what makes me happy. And I just think, yeah, it feels great. But it's definitely hard work. And I think going back to work after mat leave has definitely been tough. And finding time to do everything, as you know, it can be quite overwhelming, especially when you're like, my son is so young and I love spending time with him. So I'm not willing to, you know, not see him every day. So yeah, it's tough to fit it all in, but you just do it, don't you?
It's really hard, but I think, you know, as we both said, if you love something, you find the time to do it. My friend always says to me, you know, you choose your hard, and if your hard is that you lose out on sleep because you want to do all the other stuff, it might be that for a few years.
Yeah.
What are the learnings that you've had from starting a clothing brand?
God, so much. I don't even know where to start, to be honest, but I was lucky that I had a middle person helping me source the fabrics, because it was a nightmare. That was one of the learnings, trying to get recycled materials. And so I was lucky that they were doing the negotiations with the factory and that sort of stuff. But I guess I've learnt that, well, I guess you get so much feedback from the suit itself, which is great. So all of that kind of taken on board. One is it costs you way more than you think. So the amount that I had budgeted, I'm an accountant and I somehow forgot to add in the fact that I would have to pay import VAT and customs charges and all that sort of stuff. So that adds about 32% onto your actual, like, the cost of the clothes. So it's definitely more expensive than I envisaged. And just, I guess, the time that it takes as well, because if you want to launch a brand and you want to do it really well, you have to put so much time into it, because it's not just the organising with the factory and developing new collections and designing the clothes, it's the social media, it's the packing the orders, it's dealing with the returns, dealing with customer like emails and that sort of stuff. So it's expensive and it takes a lot of time. So it's definitely been a steep learning curve for sure.
And I can kind of imagine, looking at all of your content, you're a little bit of a perfectionist as well.
The amount of samples I had is ridiculous, but I just didn't feel comfortable putting something out there that I didn't, you know, like when you I wanted the suit to be just a plain black suit that when you put it on, you just feel like empowered and confident, and you know, you can walk into any room and you just feel like amazing. And I just felt some of the samples that I got back, I was like, this doesn't give me that feeling. So until I feel like that, and the factory was very annoyed with me, but you just like, you know, you're not going to put something out there that you don't feel confident in.
I think that's so true, because I think, you know, and I think actually all people who buy things, all of us, have got used to settling because we buy so much online. So we buy 3 things, and actually the third one, if we'd have been in the fitting room, we might not have kind of hold on to. But because of the process of returns is a nightmare, we settle. And then we've got all these things, like you said, in our wardrobe that are only okay. So I think it is important to create things that people will absolutely love and want to wear again and again and again, and really derive joy from and cherish as well.
Yeah, definitely. On that, actually, so I obviously get gifted quite a few things, and I know we were probably going to discuss it at some point anyway, but I work with a Smart Works charity as well. So we do. Woo, Smart Works. I have just started volunteering for them. So I went in about a month ago now and just recorded some content, and then I edit it and send it over to them. But that's, you know, if anybody listening has any spare clothes kicking around, definitely just give them to Smart Works, because they'll take them.
Absolutely. And for anyone who's listening who hasn't heard of Smart Works, it is an amazing charity. It has 11 offices across the UK where it helps women get back into employment through clothing and coaching as well. Yeah. And I think they are almost 70% of women who go through Smart Works doors then go on successfully to interview and get jobs. So it's an amazing charity in terms of the work it does. And I believe a percentage of your suit sales also go to Smart Works.
Yes, they do. So 5%. And then when I went in the other month, I think I gave them maybe 5 or 6 suits. So I'm constantly donating them suits and that sort of stuff as well. And I just love the charity, and I love Amy and the people that I've met there. They're just great. And the podcast was so good as well that you did.
So shout out to the collaboration that we did with Smart Works.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing, because obviously you are ambitious. You know, I've seen you want to drive your career. You're an accountant, chartered accountant.
Yes.
Chartered accountant. What advice would you give for people who going into a corporate job and trying to kind of find their feet and work out who they are and how they make a mark?
Oh, it's so difficult. Do you mean with clothing or just in general?
I think just in general, in terms of identity, and then maybe with clothing as well as a way to do that.
Yeah, I think it's so hard, because I remember I was just so worried about making a good impression and what people would think about me, that I would work really long hours just to prove myself and take on as much work as possible. And I mean, that's like fine if that's what you want to do, but I guess one piece of advice is like, don't feel like you have to do that. But I guess it's be confident in who you are and yourself and your ability, and, you know, just work hard, I think.
Yeah, just prove. I guess once you've proved that, you know, you can do it, actually take some pride in that as well. It's not about kind of being arrogant, I don't think, but, you know, recognising and being proud of yourself that you can do it, and building from that point.
Yeah, and just not doubting yourself. Yeah. Definitely.
And what about outfit advice then for those first days?
So obviously I would suggest wearing a mode suit, but if you're not into wearing like a plain black suit with heels, you can. Yeah, I would say depends on the office, but one thing I would do before you're going, I mean, you would have had interviews there, so you know the kind of vibe you're going for, but I would always ask for the dress code or the dress policy and decide from there kind of what you should be wearing. Like I say, a lot of offices now you can wear trainers, so just make sure that you get, I mean, I feel like I'm bored of myself saying this, but I said the word capsule wardrobe about 1 million times. But just, get a capsule wardrobe together. And if anyone is listening and is starting a job, feel free to drop me a DM, obviously, and I can help you if you're really not sure.
Are there any messages that you get consistently in terms of questions?
It is usually it's post-COVID, going back to the office full time, don't know what to wear, or I've had a baby, my body's changed, I don't know what to wear, or starting my new job. I would say they're the main ones, as well as things like, where did you get your trousers from, or things like that. But and people asking for help with capsule wardrobes as well, I'd say.
I think any kind of change, like an interview, like a new job, like coming back from mat leave, it's a transition moment, isn't it? And you reassess kind of who you are and how you want to be during that time. Yeah,
oh, definitely. Yeah, I find that when I think about my career path, so when I started at BDO, I would always wear flats. I don't think I ever wore heels. And then when I got to EY, one of my friends used to wear heels, so I thought, okay, I can wear heels now. So I started wearing heels, and then I sound like I'm just like, slowly made my way around like all the accountancy firms, I swear. But then when I went to EY at KPMG, that's when I was like, right, nobody knows me here. I can like really, and that's when I started Lou's Corp as well. I can just, I'm going to wear heels every single day, and I don't care what people think and that sort of stuff.
So you were literally elevating yourself as you went?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Heels were getting higher.
Yeah, they literally were. But yeah, it's funny.
This has been so interesting, and I think it is really admirable that, you are navigating all these different parts of your world really successfully.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm really excited to see what's next for Mode. What do you see the future as for Mode?
So my plan for Mode is it will be a one-stop shop for everything workwear. Everything will be made from sustainable materials, recycled polyesters, cottons, that sort of thing. So I've already done the process of sourcing the various materials I will need for future collections. I will be launching the power suit in different colours because that's something that's been really like highly requested. I will be doing just everything workwear really, but not the simple parts of workwear. So it will be kind of your trousers, your blazers, tops, shirts, cardigans, jumpers, just very simple things. That's kind of the plan. And eventually what it will be is, like I say, you will go onto Mode, you will know, you're starting a new job, you've got this capsule wardrobe inspiration, you just pick everything and then it all comes to you and it's going to fit you right. And eventually I will be doing petite, tall, more inclusive sizes because I've had a lot of feedback about that as well. But obviously when you're a small brand and you've got a limited budget, you can't just like go crazy on the sizes because the MOQs are so high if you want to do that. But that's where I see it going eventually. And it's such a, like with Lou's Corp, it's such a passion project for me. And I just really enjoy doing it. Like I mean, if anybody listening here wants to come and create content with me, then just give me a shout because I literally love it. But I always like drag all my friends in there, put them in the suits and then like go around Leeds, like filming content with them and stuff. So yeah, just I guess like growing on social media as well and growing with the Smart Works charity. But yeah, I guess just being a one-stop shop for everything workwear.
Oh, well, I'm excited to see that come to life.
Thank you.
Tell me, I've really enjoyed this podcast. Is there anything that you have reflected on in your own style that it's made you think about?
What do you mean, sorry?
Is there any reflection you've had from, the conversations we've had, the thought around like clothing and identity, anything that's come up in particular?
Yeah, you identified that. I didn't really think about this before, but when you said about how I was like elevating myself as I went along, I think that was so true. I just didn't really think about it properly. But yeah, I guess I went from, it's so interesting going from the trainee job where you're too scared to wear heels. It sounds stupid, but too scared to wear certain clothes, to then going to somewhere where you're like, oh, okay, someone else is wearing them, so I can wear them, to I don't care anymore. I'm just going to wear what I want to wear, and I found my personal style. So I'd say that's actually the biggest thing, which is quite interesting.
I love that. And I think there was that bit around actually, it's not about style over substance. It's a bit of both. So knowing your worth, then you're elevating yourself at the same time.
That's so true. So true.
Yeah. Oh, this has been brilliant.
Yeah.
I always finish by asking if you're stressed or well-dressed.
Well-dressed, of course.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Stressed But Well Dressed today with myself, Dahlia Stroud, and our guest, Louise Slightholme. I'm so pleased that we were able to have a conversation about what it means to create a capsule wardrobe for work, to celebrate Mode workwear, which we're both wearing, and to give a shout out to Smart Works charity as well. If you've enjoyed listening to the show, make sure that you follow it on the platform where you get your podcasts, and have a great day.